So this is a drawing I had done of the dragon from the original Zelda game, Aquamentus. And here we have the original sprite. So the original sprite is not exactly detailed. It's an old NES sprite. And when I redrew it, the goal of this was to redraw it without looking at any of the official art, without looking at how Aquamentus was actually designed by the creators in terms of like concept art, and redesign him based on the sprite work alone. And this was the result of that, this version here. So as you can see, it's definitely got some problems, but one of the things that I did was I used my understanding of anatomy to combine a bunch of different creatures together. So what I did was I took essentially the head of a horse combined with the head of a crocodile or an alligator. Can't remember which. And I have a bouncing ball assignment. How much time is expected for me to finish it? If you're doing the bouncing ball in Animation Mentor, you have the entire week to finish it. But yeah, you can see the head is kind of a combination of alligator and horse. The body is more that of a pit bull. So I combined a pit bull with a little bit of, again, the alligator, a little bit of kind of dinosaur / elephant / hippo feet to get that like stocky, stumpy foot. And then I also added a whole bunch of extra musculature on the shoulders for the wings, because if you have wings there, you need the muscles to move them. So when you're designing creatures, when you're designing anything, honestly, you need to know the muscles, you need to know how things work so that you can design them in a way that makes sense. Now, you don't have, like, that's if you want to draw realistically. You need it if you're going to draw something more simplified, more cartoony. Like Finn from Adventure Time doesn't exactly have all of the biceps, triceps, and deltoids in his arm. But understanding things like proportion, understanding where things connect, how things connect, can give you a good base. And then from there, you can start breaking rules. A good general concept in both art and animation is learn the rules first so that you know how to break them. Because if you go in blind and you just start doing things randomly and you go, oh, well, that's just my style, it can work maybe, but oftentimes it just looks weird or wrong or iffy. By learning the rules, you know why they're there, and then you can go and choose to break them. You can choose to push your work. So I have an example here of a drawing of Link. Which one is it here?
So many to pick from.
Yeah, I know. Trying to think of, like, here's this one that I did of Nocturok. And you can see here, I drew Link in a more realistic manner, paying attention to things like more normal anatomy, more realistic design. But from there, I can design him another way. And this is another design I had done of Link. And you can see this is very different. It's definitely the same character, but with a very different body type and proportions, very cartoony. But because I have an understanding of how the shoulder works, how hands work, I can push that knowledge and exaggerate it without it feeling broken. It can still feel correct. So that is kind of the importance of learning anatomy, is it gives you this knowledge. And going back to Aquamentus here, I redesigned him recently to this version and trying to go for a darker, more gritty version. And one of the things I noticed when I was redesigning him is I actually made a lot of mistakes in the first one in terms of musculature, especially in the shoulder area. So I realized I'd kind of messed up the shoulder in the first one, and you'll see it does look different. His shoulder area is rather differently shaped in the second version. Specifically, oh, wrong layer. This area right in here, I'm drawing this with my mouse for some reason. It's very different because I realized as I was redrawing it, it's like, wait, the shoulder muscle is not connecting here properly.
Once you see it, it definitely stands out.
It's like, why is there a pit in his shoulder? There shouldn't be one, because
it's like
the deltoid
inverse armpit.
Yeah, it's like an inverse outside armpit. It's like if you had an armpit right here, that wouldn't work. And once you see it, it's like, oh yeah, that is wrong. So yeah, learning anatomy can take a drawing and really make it better. And that goes for anything, and animation, art, and then again you can break it and push it. But do I have to learn full anatomy as an animator?
No,
you don't have to. You don't need to. It helps, but it's not necessary. The only thing you really need as an animator, now that's different if you're a 2D or a 3D animator.
Yeah.
If you're a 2D animator, you really should, because you're going to be drawing it. If you're using a rig in 3D animation, it doesn't matter as much because the rig's already built for you. But the thing that you should learn is how the body moves. Anatomy in terms of motion, like how does your shoulder move? What is the range of motion of the body?
Yeah.
How does moving your shoulder affect the rest of your body, and what muscles? You don't need to learn everything, but especially musculature and range of motion is stuff that's really helpful.
One of the big issues that Cameron and I both see when we see students learning animation is breaking the wrist. The wrist has a very specific range of motion, and if you don't understand that and study that first, most students will tend to break the wrist. So for example, your wrist, you can go 90 degrees forward, 90 degrees back, on average. Not everyone's the same. And then you can go about 45 degrees on your pinky side, but look how far I can go on the thumb side. Almost nothing. It really just straightens this line here. That's because your bone structure in your wrist doesn't allow your hand to rotate that far. Most people don't realize that.
You can go back to the full views.
Yeah. Oop, there we go. So
That's
most
better.
people don't realize that, and you get broken wrists that are just twisted in the wrong way. And is there any good books for that? Yeah, broken ankles too, A to the J. Yes. Ankles are very specific as well.
Yeah,
so
ankles,
in terms of
shoulders.
Yeah, shoulders. In terms of books, there's no real book like specifically for range of motion. You can just do a Google search, body range of motion or wrist range of motion. You'll find a lot of good resources online. Also, just try it yourself.
Yeah, shoot video reference for yourself.
Yeah, shoot reference, or just try it out. If you have a pose where the character is reaching for something, how does your hand move? So for example, I do this a lot when I'm animating. I'll just go full screen here. Cameron is gone. Haha, it's my stream now.
Help me.
There's a voice in the background. If I have someone that's doing something, so let's say a character is maybe like they've got their hand up to their face and they're thinking, something like this. What I would do is I'll try it out and I'll try to feel it. What's happening with my hand? How much is my wrist moving? How much is it tilting? How much is it tilting forward and back? And I'm going to try it out, see how that feels. If I've got a character putting their hand on their hip, what's the rotation? What's my arm to hand? Same thing if I'm reaching up. What does my clavicle do? You feel it. You try it out. Don't just pose something and go, I guess that's right. Try it if you can. Shoot a reference if you can. If you can't, especially if it's something dangerous to do or kind of something that you can't really do physically,
Parkour.
Parkour. Just
the next
try...
stream will involve me, like, we take the camera outside and you watch me jump off the deck.
It'll be horrible.
Stream over, oh my god.
Oh no, it'll keep going. We're live the whole way. I'll be laughing. But it's one of those things where you have to try it out. To really understand animation, you need to try it or understand and study it. And you can try to find books on it, but honestly, the best thing is just reference and Google. And A to the J, that book there, Anatomy for Sculptors, highly recommend. If you want to learn anatomy, one of my favorite books personally, especially if you're doing sculpture. It's really, really great and very easy, a very visual book.